Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Healthy Talk, empowering your wellness one conversation at a time. I'm your host, Rachel Mann, and today's episode is a very special one. We're celebrating the incredible career of someone who has been the heart and soul of Boone County Hospital Foundation for 20 years, our executive director, Sara Klute Behn. Sara is preparing to step down from her role, and I'm honored not only to interview her today, but also to follow in her footsteps as the new foundation director. Together, we'll reflect on her time with the foundation, highlight her many accomplishments, and look ahead to what's next, including our upcoming Harvest Festival on October 24th. Sara, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, what an honor to be here with you, Miss Rachel.
Let's start at the beginning. You've been with the foundation for more than 2 decades.
Yeah.
How did you first get involved?
Oh gosh. I mean, I could just do a whole podcast episode just on that, but I'll try to condense it down. I actually moved back to Iowa. I was born at Boone County Hospital, but grew up in Minnesota. So I came back to Boone in 2000, town I was born in. So always loved coming to Iowa growing up. It always felt like home to me. And ultimately worked for the county. So I was in Boone and Dallas counties doing nonprofit work also there. It was DCAT and Empowerment, which is basically family service programs, and managed budgets and managed all the programs available in the counties for early childhood and whatnot. So that work included the Family Resource Center. So the dream of the Boone County Empowerment Board was to have this Family Resource Center built in Boone. So they basically said to me, we want this building. And I said, okay. I mean, I was 23 and I didn't know what I was doing, but I quickly fell in love with fundraising. It was something where I watched the outcomes. Meetings were fruitful. Things happened. Mm-hmm. Things were progressing, and eventually a building was built and we had raised all this money. And I worked with some really great people along the way. And on top of that, I was seeing the services that were going to be provided to the community, and just all of it really made me feel good. And it was something that I knew I loved, fundraising, watching every piece come together, making that happen. Ultimately, a friend was working here at Boone County Hospital, and she called me one day and said, the foundation director position is open. Would you want to apply? And I said, absolutely. So that was where my fundraising career really, I guess, took off.
What was the vision for the foundation when you first started?
The foundation when I started was fairly small. So they had been having the golf tournament, they had the gardens, they had some fundraising initiatives that had been going on. And really, there were 2 parts to it. I was basically hired at a time when they wanted to raise, I think it was about $200,000 for hospice suites. But also, when I came on board, my mission was really to have the foundation become a household name, that people would recognize it, put in their top 3 places where they wanted to provide their charitable giving to. Those were kind of the 2 things that were really the driving missions when I started.
So looking back, what are some accomplishments you are most proud of?
Well, over the span of 20 years, obviously, there's quite a few. I was exceptionally proud of that very first project that I came on board to accomplish, which was the hospice suites. I think that the goal was $200,000. I remember we raised $250,000, so we went way past our goal. And that extra money actually helped us revamp the hospice suites a second time. So when it needed to be refreshed, we had the money to do that. So I've been here long enough to go through it twice.
To revamp.
Yes. So that was the first fundraiser. And then probably about halfway through my career here, we did the endowment campaign. We raised about $750,000 through that effort. That was really exciting for me because that was an effort where I knew that that was going to help the foundation go into what we would call perpetuity. So it will go on and on and on, because the more money we have there, the more that we're just drawing down the interest and having that principal retained for the long term for the foundation. And then probably more recently, Michaela Keenitz, our newer CEO, brought Project Be the Light as an idea for us. And I think what's been most rewarding for my job has been seeing that generosity put into action. Mm-hmm. And Project Be the Light is definitely one of those places where we've been able to fundraise for it and then turn around and give these families money during a very challenging time. The reward of that, to be able to provide that, feels really good.
A big piece of the foundation is events like the Harvest Festival that's coming up. Trestle Hustle, golf tournament, they've all kind of become community traditions. What role do they play in bringing money into the foundation?
Absolutely. It's been a huge part of our foundation. And it's funny because I'll go to these different foundation meetings and they will talk about return on investment or the ROI of events. And what we have found over the years is first that we had such a great following of our events. And as we built them and grew them, obviously, first of all, we had to bring you on for a staff person because we knew that this was something that I couldn't do on my own. And it was a crossroads with my board at the time. I said, do you want me to do director things or do you want me to do event things?
Right.
And so we established more events. I think it went kind of back to that initial wish that I had to bring the name of the foundation into households so people knew more about us. And this was one of the ways that we got to do it. So we hired you 9 years ago to help us coordinate, market, and manage those events. And then going back to that ROI piece was that the value and the reward of us being out in the community and engaging the community, people loved our events. They love our events. So we were able to bring people in and create that sense of community. The support came naturally as we got to tell our story of Boone County Hospital, of our patients, and so many heartwarming stories along the way of how Boone County Hospital has saved lives and helped people at a critical time. So we get to do all that through our events. And I think that that's really priceless.
I would agree. What would you say has been the most rewarding part of your role as foundation director?
Just witnessing the direct impact of generosity and action. When a donor gives, it's more than just dollars. It's hope and access and care and equipment. So to see these funds raised and transformed into new equipment and expanded programs or resources that patients and families would otherwise maybe not have access to, it's just incredibly meaningful. So it's been a privilege to connect people's desire to give with the hospital's mission and then see that ripple out into our community. And that's through our staff, through our patients.
Okay, now let's talk about challenges.
Yes.
What are some challenges that you've had in your role?
There's only been a few,
right?
But so I would say probably one of the biggest challenges has been really, again, balancing those immediate needs with long-term vision. Healthcare is always evolving. There's always urgent priorities that rise up every year. But at the same time, we're still working on building that sustainable foundation for Boone County and for generations to come. So walking that line between meeting today's needs and not losing sight of tomorrow has been challenging and important, both.
As you step away, what do you hope the foundation continues to carry forward?
I have always been a big dreamer, looking out into the future with big possibilities. And even when I was working with the group about the Family Resource Center, people would tell me that that would never happen. At first, it took me aback, and then it also motivated me to want to move it forward even more. So I guess really having that drive and that mission to keep going forward, keep dreaming big, keep carrying out those big possibilities, and try to not let anybody talk you out of it. I guess that maybe I'm saying that to you. Don't let anybody talk you out of it.
Well, that's great, because I was going to say, since I'm the one stepping into your shoes, what advice would you give me?
Your role as executive director will look different, as it should be. You are a different person. Even though we've worked alongside each other for over 9 years, you have a good handle on the foundation. You know what our mission has been, and you'll continue to pull that forward. But I also feel like you're a different person with different skills, and that's good. We need fresh ideas, fresh perspectives. So I appreciate that you know that legacy that we've built together, but also don't be afraid to make it your own and always continue to dream big and move things forward.
Okay.
Are we going to cry?
I know. We're maybe halfway through. I can't cry yet. Okay. Well, before you officially pass the baton, we have one more big celebration, the Harvest Festival on October 24th. This year's theme is Decades of Dedication, honoring Boone County Hospital's 125 years of service. What makes this event special?
I love the Harvest Festival. I think every year it's special, and it becomes bigger and better and more special, I think, every year. And every time we come up with a theme and we come up with something that we're raising money for, and then we have this whole separate committee that gives of their time freely, it always warms my heart, which sounds kind of cliche, but it is.
It's true.
It's true. So it just warms my heart that we get to go out, have this wonderful evening out. And it's what people, I think, kind of want. I mean, they want to have a night out. They want to be with community. They want to give back to their community. And we're giving them all of that in one evening. And we found an amazing auctioneer who really helps us also drive our mission forward. So, I mean, I don't know that there's one thing that I could say that's extra special about this year, other than maybe it's my last one as, well, I won't even be the director. You'll be the director by then, but
I'll share.
Perfect. And so I'll get to be a part of that, but also it will just be fun to just see how it all comes together that night. And it's always exciting. And we're going to have Burnin' Sensations.
Burnin' Sensations. We're at the 1868 Farmhouse again, which, what a gorgeous venue.
It is.
I love working with them. Dinner by Litterdale, our live auction with our amazing auctioneer, which you mentioned, Haley. And then I think one of the things that people have come to look forward to or associate with the Harvest Festival is the Fund a Need portion of the event. So each year, the foundation highlights a specific project. This year, our Fund a Need is going to raise money for something incredibly important, which is a new ambulance for Boone County Hospital.
Yeah, it's funny because did we figure out that we raised money for an ambulance 7 years ago?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah. And it's so funny because it feels like yesterday.
We're
like, how did that happen?
We just did that.
But here we are. The interesting part about ambulances is just like any other vehicle, it needs to be replaced. And those take a lot of wear and tear. So we're going to highlight that at the Harvest Festival and talk a little bit more about the service that it provides and how we're helping the community through that service. And also the fact that you would think that that would be an essential service of a hospital. And it is, but the funding streams don't see it as that. So unfortunately, the hospital loses money every year on our ambulance service, which in turn impacts how often we can get new ambulances. So all the more reason why the foundation is an important partner and component to step up and help with that fundraising.
Yeah, they're vehicles that are literally saving lives, getting patients care when they need it, and every second counts.
Yes.
So by contributing to the Fund a Need, our donors are able to ensure that our hospital has the resources it needs to respond quickly and safely in those emergencies. And it gives people in our community a chance to raise their paddles that night and directly save lives.
Exactly.
For someone who hasn't attended the Harvest Festival before, how would you describe the experience?
It's one of those things that we really wanted to make it all are welcome. Come as you are. You don't have to dress up in the theme. You don't have to do any part of that. We always have people who really get into the theme, and we have some people who just show up in jeans and a shirt, and that is just fine. We are grateful to have everybody there in attendance. So really, I think from moment one, we try to make it a very welcoming event. We do know that the cost of the ticket couldn't be an investment for some people as well, but we know that they are coming and having a great dinner. They're having an opportunity to be with their community and enjoy just a night out in our town for a special event. So we always have an agenda set up, so everything will run hopefully like clockwork. Some years are better than others. But we will have the opening and the welcome. We have a social hour to begin with. And then we do some speaking. And like you talked about, we have the Fund a Need, and we'll have a Fund a Need video. We have our auctioneer doing her amazing work.
It's like entertainment in itself with Haley.
She is 100%. And then we will go into the fun part of the evening, or more fun part of the evening, I guess, with Burnin' Sensations starting to play at 9 p.m.
What are some ways that listeners who want to support the foundation can get involved?
They can donate online. We always have a Donate Now button available. And in that drop-down menu, there's a Fund a Need line item, which, again, is going to be there year-round. And while that Fund a Need will change each year, it's still available for people to donate to. So if they want to get involved by donating through that very simple process, or if they have a cash donation that they want to make to the event that night, we've kind of gotten away from silent auction items. People are coming to the event knowing that it's a charitable event. So we go in right away with some fun games and some ways that they can contribute back, everything from $25 raffle tickets all the way through the live auction items.
As you reflect, what legacy do you hope to leave?
I think the legacy I want to leave is that it's really about honoring the generations before us that have built the hospital, built the foundation, and also making sure that those future generations have access to excellent care close to home. So when people are supporting the foundation, they're not just giving to a single project, they're investing in the long-term health and vitality of our community. And that legacy of giving really ensures that Boone County Hospital can keep innovating, keep expanding services, and caring for our families and neighbors for decades to come. So really supporting the foundation means being part of that story, and it's a gift that lives on well beyond ourselves.
How can people best honor your years of service and continue your mission of supporting Boone County Hospital?
Well, Rachel, I would say the best way they could honor my years at the foundation is by giving a donation to the Boone County Hospital Foundation.
That's a great idea.
I think so too. I think that would be a wonderful way to honor my many years here, but also there's been a long legacy before myself, and there's going to be a long legacy after myself. And I just am really excited to see what comes next for the hospital and the foundation.
Well, Sara, thank you for all your leadership, your vision, and your decades of dedication. We are so grateful for all you've done. I am so grateful for all you've done.
Thank you. It's been a joy to work with you, and I'm going to be watching you from afar.
And I'm going to be bucking you.
Yes, that's true. We won't miss each other, will we?
No. And to our listeners, don't forget, join us at the Harvest Festival on October 24th. It's going to be a night of great food, fun, music, and most importantly, support for Boone County Hospital Foundation. Visit www.boonehospital.com/foundation/events/HF to get your tickets or make a donation today. Until next time, stay informed, stay healthy, and keep the conversation going with Healthy Talk.